Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Kono Sekai wa Fukanzen Sugiru episode 13, the finale, apparently. I really don't know how can they make this a finale? How can they fit like so many things into a single episode, but I don't know, we'll see, I guess. Because yeah, the previous episode did quite a lot, right? It started with with Alba giving our heroes their rooms, and they went there to rest for the night. And while they were there, and Haga was filing all of the reports, he was visited by not Nikola, by Tesla, who told him that even her, like, I don't know, my cat is having herbal issues. I don't know if you can hear that. Um, that fight where she got damaged by what's his face, by the giant dude. Apparently, it harmed her as an AI on like a meta level, right? It wasn't just Nikola's body that was hurt, but Tesla herself, which is very interesting because how could that have possibly happened? I don't know, but there's many things in this game that aren't programmed quite the way they should be, so anything could happen really. And she also told Haga to report Alba, because Alba's behavior is not that of an AI. Something is amiss, right? Alba took on the role of a ruler, is, delegating people and whatnot. Yeah, Nikola believes that's an issue, and perhaps it is. So she told Haga to report that. Haga did not really have a chance to do so because Alba saw that with his mind's eye or whatever powers and teleported him into the dungeon. In the meantime, Akira had a bit of a run in with Ren and the rest of the inhabitants of the castle, and overheard Ren asking Alba if he should maybe, get rid of Haga and Nikola and Amano, and probably not Akira, because Akira is one of them, right? But yeah, he asked very openly, should he just, you know. And yeah, Akira overheard it. Akane tried to relieve the situation. That's not the correct word to use. Diffuse the situation. Yeah, to a moderate degree. They grabbed some snacks with Akira, some fruit milk, and went to Amano to party. They didn't go to Haga for some reason. Maybe in the source material they did, but Haga said, "No, I'm busy with reports," probably something like that. Or they just, they just said they just thought that there is no point even visiting Haga because he's gonna be busy filing reports and he's not gonna have time for party. And they too were transported into the dungeon. As we later learn, it was Ren. No, it wasn't Ren. It was Alba who cast this transportation magic, and that is thanks to all of them giving their names to the fiery pit or whatever it is that Ren summoned under the guise of, giving your worries to the gods or whatever. Apparently, that power allows him to always see anybody who gave that name, and I'm assuming control to some degree, because he was able to throw all of them into the dungeon. And he was very surprised that Akira and Akane also ended up there. He didn't intend to do that, but they also gave their names, so they were kind of caught in the middle of that. They were separated though, so Haga was exploring on his own, and he found, eventually, after glitching through some walls and stuff, he eventually found a library where he met Kinoshita, right? Kinoshita, I think, was her name. A member of Entermation, which is, I believe, the company that Akira and the castle gang belongs to. I'm not 100% sure of that though. She ended up there in the dungeon without a mesh because she bought some like full body suit, and turns out that the suit was bugged, glitched, or whatever, and just deleted her mesh. She's using a placeholder, that's the diamond with a question mark that we see in the opening, and she can't really interact with her menu, so she can't take it off. Or, well, she can't take it off for whatever reason. I don't know if that's to do with menus or anything. Anything else. She helps Haga learn a little bit about the dungeon. They are like kindred spirits a little bit because she was also busy debugging, and in the library she continued her work because the books are full of typo, of typesetting errors and stuff like that. And my assumption, my running theory is that she was banished into the dungeon because she wanted to report Alba. And we can't have that, can we? So she was sent down there and managed to survive only because she made it to some sort of an alchemist laboratory where she was able to, I'm assuming, alchemize some food and drink and stuff like that. And the room also seems to be like the final room, or one of the final rooms in the dungeon, because they are separated from the rest of the dungeon. They are on the thousandth, that's a mouthful for me. Thousandth, sure, floor number 1000, and that's where the boss is. That's the final floor, and they find themselves in a like an opposite situation to usual dungeon raiders, because they are not trying to go down and go past the boss. They're trying to go past the boss and climb up. Supposedly, I don't know, maybe there is a way to get out of the dungeon without defeating the boss, maybe without climbing. I suppose maybe after defeating the dungeon a teleport up could spawn, something like that. We'll see, of course. And yeah, they're in a bad situation because the boss is a big goat man thing that apparently killed many a person, so it's not going to be easy going past that. In the meantime, Akira's party found themselves in a casino. What is casino doing in a dungeon? I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be like a elite location or something, right? Like when you make it to floor 500, you are rewarded with access to the casino where you can get cool rewards or something like that. I believe on the wall of that casino we've seen the sword that Akira uses in some shots in the opening and ending. And we have to remember she lost her sword, right, in the wall that disintegrated it. So she needs a new one, and maybe that's where she's gonna get it. After they managed to save Akane there, because she managed to rack up quite a bit of debt in that casino, and debt of most of her organs. She did not give her intestines, I believe, and some other part of her intestines. I think it might have been spleen, though I'm not sure about that. I don't know my anatomy all that well. So yeah, now we gotta win that money back somehow, because otherwise they're not gonna make it out of the casino. The bouncer seems to be invincible. The casino seems to be cut off with grates and doors and whatnot. So yeah, both Haga and Akira's team are in quite the pickle. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing where it goes, because as I said at the beginning, I'm really having trouble figuring out how are they gonna cover all of that in just a single episode, right? Like I could see an episode being spent on Haga learning details about the boss from the books, maybe, and meanwhile Akira's team is busy playing at the casino. They win big, they get the sword, and they find Haga, right? I could see that being one episode, realistically. And then another episode would be the fight with the boss, and assuming the boss drops a teleport upwards, then we take that teleport up, and deal with Alba however he can be dealt with, right? But I can see both of those things, or all of those things rather, happening in just a single episode. So either we're gonna be aiming for a split core kind of thing, where in this episode perhaps they fight the boss, they win, it's a nice climax to the show, but they still have to climb up, and that's gonna be a chunk of the second season. Or they do some ass pull, where Haga manages to defeat the boss with a glitch and they just get teleported up, and the fight and the entire conundrum is done in the span of like 10 minutes. Or they pull another time skip where within 10 or 15 minutes they defeat the boss, and then time skip to them having climbed up, or something like that. I really don't know. I really don't know what they're gonna do in this episode. It's the finale. It's the last episode, and it's 13th to boot. So that one bit extra on top of a regular 12 episode core, right? So I really don't know. I really have no idea how they're gonna deal with that. So I guess we're just gonna have to see that. And because it's the last episode and you might be unfamiliar with the format, we're gonna watch the episode as usual, then we're gonna talk about it, skipping through it, etc. Then I'm gonna go through my theories, highlighting them with guessed, didn't guess, and then we're gonna talk about this episode in the context of the episode itself, in the context of this episode as a finale, then about the season as a whole, and that's where we're gonna end. So this episode will probably be a little bit longer. We'll see. It's not necessarily a rule. The finale of what did I finish recently? Isekai Shikaku. Yeah, the finale of Isekai Shikaku. That video was roughly the length of regular video because not much happened in the episode itself. Regardless, let's watch this one, shall we? To do that, you're gonna need your subs, of course. There we go. To follow along with me, I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, cost nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 13, the finale of Konosuke wa Fukanzen Sugiru QA Isekai in 3, 2, 1, go. Volume. Volume down, please. Yeah, Bamko, and Kodansha. Oh, straight into where we left off. Okay. Yeah. To the sound, you say? Do we have, like, silencing magic or something? I wish I could spread the arm's rest of my chair, like, apart, instead of just being able to twist them. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a raid boss. Unless Akira pulls a bowler sword and manages to join us. I say hand over the organs. I don't think it's an event. I think it's a game mechanic. And he's gonna lose as well. And it's gonna be down to Akira to save them, right? You don't strike me as someone who has the best poker face, my dude. Also, while we're watching the opening, I'm gonna be streaming my look at the next season soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I'm not 100% sure about that. I would like to give you like a couple of days of heads up, at least, before the stream. Yeah, click the bell, subscribe to be notified when that's up. It's always fun going through all those shows, seeing what they are, watching the trailers. So, hopefully, I'll see you there. Also, like the video and subscribe. I already told you to subscribe, but the formula is like and subscribe, so I couldn't be different, of course. When does saying like and subscribe stop being ironic and starts being legit? I wonder. Have I hit that part yet? Yeah, I really can't see how we deal with all of those threads in just a single episode. It's not like a double length or anything, no. Good old 21 minutes or something thereabouts, 22, I think. Oh, doing some push ups. A staple of someone who's imprisoned. Does that training even do anything, I wonder? Does her, like, strength stat raise? The doors are open. Can't you, like, slip past? Interesting that she has black eyes, like the croupiers at the casino. Okay, let's get to reading. Right, maybe. Or maybe that's where a portal to the top is, or a secret passage or something like that, right? You beat the boss, you get to the rewards chamber, and from the rewards chamber you go to the very top. Yeah, but that's AI in a poorly coded game. It wouldn't surprise me if the AI was just straight up cheating. I have no idea about the rules of poker. Just gonna say it ahead of time. Don't betray his hand. I don't know if the AI is, smart enough to be reading the expressions of people behind the player, but if they are, damn, a tie. Hmm. Damn. Or cheating. And I believe the latter is more probable. Okay, so he didn't go like all in, all in. He still has some money left. With what money? Yeah, the meme with the dude mining and the diamonds being in front of him. Uh, Statistically, 90% of gamblers leave gambling before scoring their biggest win, or however that goes. I don't like those odds. Okay. So bluffing works. Nope, he's getting a heart attack. Actually, can they get like sick in real world? And what would that do to them in like this VR? Right? Okay, another. No, that wasn't a win. He was at like 840 thing, and now he's at 800 and change. Don't get cocky. Hmm. A triple of kings, yeah. Oh, uh, I guess that's stronger than a full house. Okay. Wait. Oh, are they playing with double deck? Huh. Okay. Don't you like usually play poker with two decks? Maybe not Hold'em. Maybe some different kind of poker. What if he has five of a kind? What do the rules say when that happens? Okay. Straight flush. Okay, that's what it's called. 9, 10, Joker, Queen, King, I assume. That's straight flush. Another bugged thing. Yeah. I guess. Can't you, like, offer your equipment, though? Oh, hello, Haga. What are you doing here? uh, okay, so they are at floor 1000 as well. How? Can you, like, glitch out of this room, or are you gonna win? Okay, what do you want with her? Prodding for Tesla. Gotcha. Of course, that's the lie they're choosing to say. Well, why didn't he tell her himself? Why didn't you tell her earlier? Something doesn't check out, does it? Whomst? Oh, that's Nikola. A pouch with gold? Pouch with gold. It's been burned. Unless it's been rebuilt. Give up your dreams and stick to being a villager, basically. Where's her skull? She has the staff, but not the skull. Yeah, how safe is it for Nikola to travel alone? Oh yeah, just glitching with an item. Yeah. And Akira doesn't have a weapon. Huh? Oh, I guess they're chasing them even. Oh, can they fight silence, perhaps? Or at least distract the boss for long enough? Maybe. It's a. Since when is Cerberus a lizard? It's a fucked up Hydra. What about them? Do the books dampen the sound or something? Yeah, books dampen sound. Oh, the sound that the boss reacts to is emitted by the collider of the floor, and the collider doesn't reach high enough. So when you stack books on top, you can walk on the floor without touching the collider without emitting sound. Is that what it is? Oh, they don't have any sound cues. Ha. Yep. Mm-hmm. And we can go past. Yeah, run to the side. And they will emit a lot of sound and get one shot by the boss. Her teammates, or at least Akira Nakane, I would try going for the exit while they're fighting. Yeah, but maybe the enemies can get him low enough. Assuming he doesn't lose aggro when there is no sound and doesn't regenerate health when aggro is lost. Yeah, that was a sound. Damn! She was busy studying the books and the blade. Oh, can't grab the thing, which will squash him. Huh. Get out first. Okay, so I was correct. Ren sent her to the dungeon as well. But let's maybe make it out of the boss chamber. We don't know if it responds or not. Okay, so we have like, what, 2 minutes of the episode left? Assuming we skip the ending. No, just a regular sandwich. Very light sandwich. A BLT kind of thing? Hmm. Are we ending with a reunion as Nikola runs back because she smells something's wrong? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Of course. That's some Tesla appetite. You should walk in there guns blazing. Oh. Oh. Well, I better see an announcement of season 2 with an ending like that. Sure. If there's like a cold open equivalent of an ending, then that was it. I don't see anything about season 2. Damn. That was an empty bottle. No, just a episode 13 discussion. No, yeah, no season 2 announcement. Damn. I mean, I was correct wondering how are they gonna close all of those threads in just a single episode, and the answer is they didn't. I guess it's valid. As long as they give us a season 2, because if they don't, then... Okay, bit of after credits. How? Yeah, you can't exactly, like, fly, can you? We got a love interest. How? Is the boss respawning? Or has it not been killed? Oh, second phase. With a dickhead. Yeah, I mean, he's a dickhead, alright. Sure. And so are the creators of this show, not giving us a confirmation of season 2 with a finale like that. God fucking damn it. Really? Really? Cliffhanger in the last episode. Let's watch it again, shall we? Oh boy. Yeah, the boss has a very interesting, like, attack pattern. And in retrospect, it's understandable. Right, let's go off the chain, quickly punches and grabs the chain back because the chain is holding up that grate that threatens to fall on his head. Which makes this boss battle less of a raid boss and more of a puzzle, right? Where you have to prevent the boss from grabbing the chain. And, right? Which is basically what Kinoshita did by cutting off his fingers so he couldn't grab the chain and the grate fell on him. That's cool. I like it. I like me a good boss battle puzzle. He'll react to the sound. Right. 10 or 11 frame attack. That's not many frames. Yeah. Probably a raid party is required. I really thought that this is where Akira is gonna pick up her new sword. That either Izora, Amano is gonna win somehow, right? When he later on at the end, when he noticed that the game is bugged, I really thought that this is the moment where he just turns things around, wins big, they get back their organs, they buy a new sword for Akira, maybe some new gear for themselves, and then go find Haga. Something like that I expected, but what we got was actually even better. Training. As I said, the staple of every prisoner. Very good question, actually. I've got to train as much as I can every day. Does that training even do anything? We know that NPCs, like Nikola, can retain knowledge, right? She has knowledge about all the seeker things, right? Glitching through walls, looking for bugs, stuff like that. But what about retaining strength, for example? Right? Like, if she walks a lot, does she get better at walking? For example, if she eats a lot, does she get fat? Right? Questions like that. I wonder if it's a thing, then chances are we could try to, like, raise Nikola's stats naturally, but I'm not so sure. Yeah, can't really clip through the wall. I really thought there's something up with Granny. And actually, I'm gonna note it down. That there's something up with her. I have no clue what. Either she's gonna help Nikola, maybe, somehow, or she's gonna be like the final boss, something like that. I have no idea. But there's gonna be something going on with her. Where is QA Sekai? Unnamed memory, mysterious disappearances, Kaiju Hachigo, Sentai Dai, Shikaku, Visto. There it is, QA Sekai. What's her name? Grandma Douka. Grandma Douka is important somehow. We'll see. It's my job, of course. Some way to defeat silence. Yeah, it would take a huge group. And of course, we might find something in the books. Yeah, love interest. I would actually like it if Kinoshita joined us. And I think I even have it noted down. Diamond Girl got TP'd down because she tried to report Alba. Yeah, I have that noted down. I don't have it noted that Kinoshita joins the party, comma, or maybe a semicolon, Haga's love interest. This line in particular, right? The funny feeling. Funny feeling is always ever referred to as love. There's no other euphemism for love than funny feeling. Hard to read his expressions, right? Because it's an AI, probably poorly animated to boot. She knows the rules, well, I don't. Play the 5 cards on the table and the 2 in your hand. So, I'm confused about the graphic up top. Is poker, like Texas Hold'em, at least what they're playing, that there are 5 covered cards in the middle of the table that don't necessarily belong to anybody, and they're getting revealed one by one, so you bet or withhold or double or whatever, and you only have 2 cards or pick 2 cards out of whatever deck you have, and whoever's 2 cards in combination with the cards on the table make the best hand wins, right? Like, you don't give all of your 5 cards or whatever, or I guess 7 cards. 5 cards are there, set on the table, common, shared between players, right? That's how it is. I think so, because yeah, everybody has 2 cards in front of them. Yeah, but I guess I got confused because at no point do we see those 5 cards on the table. I guess they're in front of the croupier, or whatever it's called in English. It's croupier in Polish. I'm assuming it's some sort of a loan word from French or something, and those are usually shared between languages. So I'm saying croupier. I might be mistaken there. Yeah, I'm assuming this is the guy. Full House, the one with the higher 3 of a kind wins, right? Because Full House is what? 3 of a kind plus something? I have no idea, man. Okay, sure, whatever. I'm not gonna try to understand it right now. Time to bluff, yeah, bluffing works. And apparently the deck is faulty. Right, it has 5 kings, apparently, and this is the moment when I thought that he's gonna use this fact, that the deck is buggy, and he knows how exactly is it bugged, and that's how he's gonna win. but apparently not. Also, this spoils the result. We know that AI has 0 and Amano has everything, but we don't know his cards yet. So we know ahead of time that he's gonna win, while it's revealed only here. It's a bit of a mistiming here. Similar issue that some subs sometimes have, I noticed. Mostly subs that try to cram way too much text on the screen. Ideally, in general, ideally you want just a single line on the screen, or if it's just limited to the middle of the bottom part, then 2 lines, sure. But some subs try to cram way too much, and usually also add, because of that, sometimes add text from the next scene before the scene changes and can spoil things that way. That's why you also change subs what's displayed between scenes, right, to not spoil what the next scene is gonna be. Yeah, the deck is bugged, and here I thought they're playing with a double deck. And the AI isn't capable of taking advantage of that. And another question that was immediately raised in my head, as I said, what happens if someone has 5 of a kind? 5 kings, for example, right? What happens then? Does it count as having 4 kings? Or is the 5th king counted in somehow? Or does the AI break completely? We don't know, but it would be interesting to see that. And because the deck is bugged, I'm assuming all the slot machines and everything else is bugged as well, and that's probably why I kind of lost. Like, wouldn't surprise me if it was actually impossible to get like 777s on the slot machines or whatever. Showdown, AI has a straight flush, apparently. Still got 400 coins. No, they were taken. Again, apparently. And and here comes Haga, out of nowhere. Just completely nonplussed, completely blasé, completely engrossed in his reports, because of course. Because of course he would be. The Diamond of Diamond. A casino found at the very bottom of the diamond. It offers irresistible prizes, but the coins to play cost so much that some players take out loans and find themselves unable to leave. Silence. A goat-headed monster that dwells at the very bottom of the diamond. It reacts to sound and instantly eliminates intruders. Rumor has it the diamond was created to seal this monster away. And it's a very interesting prison, where he has to hold the chain or get squashed, right? Yeah. It's actually a very interesting prison. Like, similar to those... where was this crazy idea born? Can't remember whether it was Reddit, Tumblr, or 4chan, because there's so much cross-contamination between them. But someone had an idea of a room that has sandpaper, that has like a running belt thing, right? Like a conveyor belt at the bottom, but it's sandpaper in a cell. And the prisoner is placed there, and they can't sit down, they can't go to sleep, they can't lay down, because if they do, sandpaper is gonna bring them to the wall and it's gonna start scraping off their body. I don't know why this is the first thing that came to mind here, but it did. So something like that. Village girl Nikola, Alba Sama. Yeah, of course Nikola wouldn't believe that. Yeah. There's nothing in the village I came from. It's all the same day in and day out, assuming the village still exists. We know that Haga tried to save it multiple times, so I'm assuming it eventually rebuilds and gets repopulated. But we don't know if it's repopulated with the same people or with different people. I don't know. Smart way to live is not trying to be someone you aren't. Something an NPC would say, alright? I really wonder if there's gonna be something up with the granny. Her like inverted color eyes, right, with black sclera and white pupils. That's odd. Her general shape is odd. I don't know. I thought that maybe she gave Nikola something in this bread box. Maybe her skull is there, or maybe a note, or maybe, you know, something, some sort of a contraband. But apparently not. Also, they took Nikola's skull, and Nikola didn't even, like, argue about it? I don't know. Or maybe, does she have it by her belt? No, it's not hanging anywhere. She just has the bread box. Yeah, they took her skull away, apparently. Not that my sister cares much what happens to her, I'm sure. Well, I would really wonder about that. And yeah, they apparently can chase you even after you make it out of the casino. Interesting. This is like actually good, like the one and only bit of good programming in this game. Just, you know, if by any chance the player escapes the casino, still send the thugs, right? Don't limit them just to the casino area. Still send them after the players. Cerberus. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. That's interesting. That's super cool. Leather books don't have the sound associated with them. Either the physical material of leather doesn't have material doesn't have sound associated with it, or book or leather book is a subclass of book, and leather book does not override the sound, or whatever. But leather books don't have sound. That's a way to exploit it. Initially, I thought that the game was coded like even more poorly, in that it's just the flooring around the boss specifically that emits the sound that specifically the boss reacts to, right? So if you lay down whatever, a shovel of gravel or something, and you stand on that gravel, it makes gravel sound, not the boss waking sound, so the boss doesn't wake. And because books make book stepping sound and not floor stepping sound, the boss is not gonna react. But no, it's leather books not making sound. This is great. Shutting up Akane with Isora's head. That's a super cool way this boss fights. I really like this scene. Just let's go, punch, grabs. Let's go, punch, grabs. And apparently has a fire breath as well. Yeah, this is a really cool fight scene between the boss and the mobs. Gory, bloody, really dynamic. A lot of cool stuff happening in this fight scene. Yep. I really, really like it. If they can whittle down its HP a bit, that'll be plenty. And thankfully, she can still use her sword even in this form. It's finally paid off. Can't grab the chain. The chain lets go. And he gets squashed with the grate. And that's the moment you leave the chamber. You run the fuck away. Whatever monsters there are on floor 999, they're gonna be easier to beat than the raid boss. And you can go through them with glitching easily. Yeah, Nikola hasn't been warped. She's been exiled, for the lack of a better term. I thought that maybe she's gonna find something inside of the sandwich, like, again, some note or an amulet or, you know, something like that. But no. She's smart, though. She's really smart. Yeah, they wouldn't leave me. That man doesn't know anything about Haga. Haga would never leave such a huge city so soon without investigating it. Exactly. Ren doesn't know Haga as intimately as Nikola knows him. Ren doesn't know that Haga would not just leave. Like, even if he intended to leave Nikola behind, let's assume, he would not leave the city until he tried glitching into every single corner and tried talking through every single every single dialogue option with every single NPC. He would absolutely not leave this place. And Nikola knows it, Ren doesn't, and that's why his lie was so see-through for Nikola. And I shouldn't just walk back in there. I thought she's gonna say something to the effect of, I shouldn't just walk back in there, I'm gonna walk back in there guns blazing. But what she means, I'm not sure. Like, this would be a cool finale, right? Like, nice amount of finality to it with having defeated the boss, but also a fairly open end where they aren't out of the dungeon yet. Nikola is going back, they're separated, right? A good place to, decent place to stop the season. But they went above and beyond, and they're like, would you look at that? The boss has a second form. That's a tentacled dickhead. Because that's what it is. Then again, he has 4 legs. So those limbs in... No, they have like opposable thumbs. In the back, those are hands. He's doing like the bridge, right? And that's a penis. That's a penis with tentacles. Someone's gonna get mad horny for that. For sure. The monster design in this game, I swear. I love it. Like the 4-legged goat man centaur thing holding a chain wasn't enough of a cool boss design. They're going just completely fucking bonkers with a dickhead second form. That's something. And now they don't have the casino goons for help. And if they leave this chamber, I'm assuming the boss is going to reset. So it's not like they can run back to the casino, bring the mobs back. Maybe they could. If they leave like one person holding the aggro. Maybe. Maybe. I talked about it in Shangri-La Frontier, I think. By the way, second season coming in 2 weeks. Be there or be square. I'm going to be watching. But yeah, in Shangri-La Frontier, I talked during, I think, the Weathermon fight. I'm not sure. My friend and I, when we were playing Borderlands 2, and there was one of the raid bosses. It wasn't Cromerax, I don't think. It was the boss where you like jump down through a grate or something, and it's like a half-open... Sorry. And there's like a half-open arena, right? And we couldn't beat it when we would go there, the both of us. But up there were like vending machines with healing and stuff. So one of us would be down there fighting the boss, and whenever the person down there would die, then another one of us would jump down to keep the aggro going and just whittle the boss down slowly with like, I don't know, 8 separate rounds of, swapping like that. So maybe they could do something like that, right? One person stays here, tries to dodge. We don't know how fast this boss is exactly. Maybe it's slower than the first form. We don't know that. One person stays there and dodges and avoids attacks. Or maybe like 4 people stay there and one person runs back to bring more casino goons. Right? That could maybe possibly work. I just hope that Kinoshita doesn't die. But I have a bad feeling that she very well might. Kinoshita dies, parenthesis, sacrifice. I hope not. I sure hope not. But I'm getting those vibes. And I don't like those vibes. We'll see. We'll see whenever in season 2, I guess. I'm gonna be watching, so see you there as well whenever that happens. I have no clue. We don't even have like a TBA or TBD or anything Then again, this episode only aired like what, yesterday, I think. So maybe they have like a week or so to announce season 2. I don't know. Like the announcement of season 2 doesn't always coincide with the end of the season, even if it's such a blatant split core situation. So we'll see. We'll see, but right now, yeah, theories. Theories. As I said, there's not much, just a single page. The half of the other is just those today's theories. Royalty falling ill is important and a bug. What was that about? Oh, there was something about like the king falling ill, like the king from the King's Seekers. Well, we don't know anything about that. Other testers are dead, like basically every single one of them, and Haga is the only one remaining. No, things are not quite that dire. Haga has to use the bug mode. Not quite yet, maybe in season 2, I'm gonna leave it open. Using the bug mode breaks the game and stops them from logging out. Yeah, so Tesla claims, at least. Hunting down the bug mode users and taking their stones to fix the log out. Yes, that's basically what Haga is doing. That's what Alba's goons are doing. The game is adjusting, rewriting itself. Right, the theory that there are no like external developers, it's just the game that just fixes itself. We don't know that. The game ceases to be a game, not yet at least. Nikola does not use magic herself, the school does. Basically, yeah. Amano goes pro mangaka after the show is done, the story is done. Amano writes manga about Lu, we don't know either of those. Game world getting more and more real. Right, the theory that either the game rewrites itself to make the game more and more real, or the game like becomes more and more of a real life. None of that quite yet. Nikola struggles with being useless. Finding her use is her character arc. Nikola struggles with being useless. Did she have a character arc? Not really. I feel like this might be a character arc incoming for her, but hasn't happened yet, hasn't completed yet at least. Haga wants to utilize some bug, but it's been fixed. Hasn't happened yet, but maybe. Evil Tester's boss respawns and joins the team. Right. He does respawn. He does not join the team. Since there is apparently a way to bring NPCs back, according to Shacho, Nikola dies and needs to be brought back like Lu. Hasn't happened yet. Gadel is defeated by being pushed into the wall that dissolved Akira's sword. Nope. That wall is just kind of glossed over, really. Gadel has giant blood power, whatever in him. We don't know, and we're never gonna know. Yamanaka gets unfrozen and we see him again. Hasn't happened yet, at least. We don't know if it did. Maybe. I mean, Haga reported it. It might get fixed, it might not. We meet the other 3 meta AIs besides Tesla and Alba. Probably. We've seen their silhouettes, but it's gonna be quite some time. Diamond Girl got TP'd down because she tried to report Alba. Well, she did get TP'd down. We don't know why, but I mean, it's a safe assumption that I'm correct here. But again, we don't have a proper confirmation. That is how it looks. The camera doesn't like white paper. There, I'm gonna unlock. There we go. That's how it looks. Not bad. Not bad. Alrighty. Episode itself. It was good. It was good. It kind of continued the trend from the previous episode of being a bit of a vertical slice of this show. as a whole. Right, we got some debugging stuff with Haga walking around and debugging. We got some glitch exploitation, right? Passing through the walls, books that make no sound, debug the deck, and stuff like that. We got a very nice fight, not involving our characters, which is very interesting, but rather involving two groups of monsters, and it was an actually good fight. Like, actually well animated, some cool art, some cool moves. Most of it was smear frames, sure, but the overall effect was still very good. I really, really enjoyed the fight between Silence and the Casino Goons. So that was fun. I'm glad we got a little bit more of an introduction, I guess, to what's her face? Kinoshita? Kinoshita. We got to hear a little bit more from her. She became a little bit more of like her own character in a way, where she has some sort of feelings for Haga. We don't know fully what they are. Where she was very happy seeing her friends. She doesn't know exactly why she was sent down there, right? There's some potential to build her character in a way where she joins the team maybe, or stands up to Alba and Ren, or at least to Ren, right? There's some really, really nice, cool potential. I can see, actually, Kinoshita fights Ren. Kinoshita fights and defeats Ren, right? While Ren was busy kissing and hugging, she was studying the blade, so maybe she will just about win. We don't know that. But yeah, really cool episode in general. I like the casino bit, the like poker bit, even though I don't like get poker fully, but I feel like I actually learned that there's those like 5 common cards, and what's the deal with betting and stuff. I still don't know what's like a flush or a straight or a full house or whatever, but yeah, it actually taught me something, so that's cool. I have liked if Amano exploited the game and won, and if that was the kind of an ending, it would have been fun. It would have been fine, perfectly fine ending, right? For that, mini arc in the casino, sure. Am I disappointed that Haga found them instead? No, it's perfectly on brand, really, for Haga, for the game, for the show. So either is perfectly fine, really. I really wonder. There's so many open threads there. Let's talk about this episode in the context of it being a finale, right? Like, sure, we got a bit of closure, like a little tiny bit, right? Defeating the boss, and that closure was immediately taken away from us. And so it really doesn't feel like a finale. I mean, it feels like a finale in that it's, I don't want to say grandiose, right? But it feels like a finale in that it's big, right? We got the start of Nikola's, like, character building arc, essentially, where she's going to be on her own a little bit. She's going to have to think for herself, fend for herself, right? That's going to be cool. That's going to be interesting. We got the fight with the boss and the end of the first phase. We got potentially a new companion, right? We got all of those things which feel big and important and are this sort of a climax a little bit. But it's like, there's a climax, but you know that there's still like things up. And like, sure, the show reached a high point, but there is higher. Take me higher. Like fight the boss. Go through Nikola's character arc, and right, you know what I mean? So it works as a finale in that it really makes me want a second season, for sure. Does it work as a finale in providing closure? Somewhat. It provides a little bit of closure, but also opens up so much that it didn't feel that much like an ending, to be honest with you. It felt like that's like mid-season kind of an episode, right? Like when a season has 24 episodes and then episode 12 is this like mid-season finale, essentially, so it can end with a cliffhanger. It can end open-ended and whatnot because you know that there's still more. You still have more to watch. You still can have all those threads closed down and completed and whatnot, which really makes me think that it might have been planned as a split core, or maybe it was planned as a 24 episode, like a double core season, but it was split in the last moment. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a split core though. I've noticed a trend of many shows recently going the split core route, where it's not necessarily a second season, although it could be, but they're not calling it a second season. They continue the numeration of episodes, right? Like weird shenanigans like that. So I wonder if it's something like that, maybe. I did have fun though. It was a good episode. I enjoyed myself. Only criticism really I had for it was this like point counter shown before we were shown the hand, which was a bit of a spoiler, but it's ultimately like whatever. I'm just left wondering, where is Akira gonna get her sword now? It was in the casino. Or maybe if the casino goons are dead now, maybe we can just run back, rob the place, grab the weapons, come back here and fight. Actually, a sound theory, I would say. Casino can now be robbed for gear. Maybe if all of the all of the goons are dead and the fucking Cerberus is dead as well. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know if they respawn or not. But yeah, as I said, fun episode. I had fun. Hopefully you did have fun as well. And now for the season as a whole. If you're wondering why do I always take a drink before I skip to this segment in final episodes, that's because it allows me to find the timestamp better, because I can look at the video and see where I have my cup up. Oh yeah, that's the switch between my like episode closing thoughts and season closing thoughts. Regardless, the show itself, again, I really find enjoyable. I was unsure about the art style initially. The art style is very interesting and very unique. Is it an acquired taste? I wouldn't say so. I would say that it's good. This show really had some nice art, but it's just not something that we're used to, right? Like anime nowadays is very smooth and almost like vector graphics like. This has this sort of a sketchy, like hand-drawn quality to it. And the more I watched this show, the more this art style grew on me. So really, like, props for the art here, props for trying to do something else, honestly. Animation, good at times, like the fight with Silence here. That was some like decent animation. Taking a lot of shortcuts, for sure, right? In all of the smear frames and camera angles that hide things here and there. But ultimately, the effect is what matters, and the effect was good. Some other little moments of animation like that were sprinkled throughout as well. On the daily, though, the animation was mostly hit or miss, right? Like sometimes you could really see that it's just sliding PNGs, right? Like it was clearly visible. But overall, it did the job. Like it wasn't a slideshow, it wasn't the berserk fucking CG thing. Actually, we haven't seen that much CG here. I think, like, have we seen any? I think some NPCs might have been CG when we were seeing crowds, but I'm not even sure about that. So yeah, like, good job there, really. So technically, good. Music, didn't really pay that much attention to it, to be perfectly honest with you. Decent opening, decent ending, nothing to particularly write home about, nothing that I would be adding to my playlist, but perfectly fine. What else? Voices, good. Everything fits, everything's suitable. VAs did a good job, and I think that's about all for the technicalities. And now about the main clues of the show, right? Story, characters, world building. The world building is super cool, in my opinion. The monster design in particular is great. The map design, the areas, the world itself is also designed really like some really cool vistas, some really cool ideas in this world. And the fact that it's a game, and it's a game where we know it's a game and it's supposed to be a game, really adds certain flavor to the world here, right? Very often, when you have an anime that is taking place in a game, right? Be it, I don't know, SAO or Bofuri or whatever else, besides characters having like skill points and menus, there isn't that much showing us that it's a game in the end, right? It's always supposed to be immersive, right? You're always supposed to treat the game world as if it was a real world, or well, the fantasy world there. Not in this case. Like, they tell us it's a game and they flaunt it, and it really works with the theme of the show, of being a QA tester. I really was afraid they're gonna drop this gimmick very, very quickly, because it's something that happens all too often when you have a story with some sort of a gimmick, and that gimmick stays relevant for like 3 episodes, and then in episode 4, our main character gets a sword, gets a fireball, gets a couple of girls to their harem, and the gimmick is just completely forgotten about because the hero just uses a sword and a fireball, and maybe their gimmick is only relevant in that they gain experience by breathing or something, and it's like, whatever, why even have the gimmick at this point, right? Not the case here. Debugging and glitches and things like that remain relevant all throughout, and I'm super happy about that. And I really, really love the theme of it, because I have some experience working with games, so I can see things like, like I know how to talk in terms of colliders and sound. What did I call it? Sound cues, right? Physical materials, shit like that. It's always fun to see a show that's like based around your interests, right? So I really enjoyed that. Great world, great story. Is the story great? It's pretty standard, to be honest. Like the overarching story, right? The overarching story of you gotta find 15 people and you gotta defeat them all, and then you can then you can get Ramona Flowers as your wife and bride or whatever, right? Like it's well done theme, so to speak. But then we have those like little stories that kind of border on me talking about characters, because the character stories here and the characters themselves are I think the highlight here. I really like the fact that the characters in this show, in our friend group at least, but I suppose also some characters around. I have my suspicions about Ren and Alba being this kind of a character, are not like completely white or completely black, right? It's not that our hero is the only one and the just, and all of his companions are the only ones and the just, right? It's not that. Like, sure, Haga, you could make an argument that he is the only one and just, but Amano is all shades of gray, right? He was willing to use the bug mode. He was willing to work with Shacho. He was willing to do so many things to bring Lu back, right? There is that little bit of grayness here. There's Akira, who is very like openly grey, like openly threatening to Haga at points, openly killing fellow players, right? That's really cool. I really like that. I really like multi-dimensional characters who aren't just the background and the followers for our main character, where main character says we go left, everybody goes left, because this is the only right and just way to go, right? I like some characters to go right, maybe, for a little bit, and then meet back up in the middle, or maybe not, right? That's cool. That adds some nice like spice, so to speak, to character interactions. I really enjoyed pretty much every single character here. I really like Haga as a character, the fucking autistic QA tester that he is. I really like Nikola, although she's not that much of a character, but she does have her moments for sure. Tesla is fun to have around. I like Amano for sure. I really like Akira. I really like the fact that she's not just, you know, a member of a harem, so to speak, but she has her own ways, her own opinions, her own way of working, and she is a member of this party just for convenience, just because we're going the same way, just because we're gonna do the same thing, right? That's cool. The only character that I would have any qualms about, but it's purely due to my personal like preferences, would be Akane. Like when there is not much of her, it's perfectly fun. She is a fun character to have, but at times she could be like a little bit too much of a comic relief, if that makes any sense. Not often, but at times she can be like ever so slightly grating. But that's like the biggest, you know, that's the biggest criticism I can give to any characters here. A little bit grating at times. Other than that, everybody is a good character. Overall, I really enjoyed this show. Initially, I wasn't sure if I was gonna, but it really won me over. I'm really curious, especially with a cold ending like that. I'm really curious about pretty much everything. Notice how we really weren't told anything about the game besides they've been stuck in the machines, sent into the game to debug it. We know nothing. Absolutely nothing else. Not even a glimpse, not even a hint, nothing. That's cool. Right? Like sometimes we do see some like flashbacks in shows of this kind. We see some flashbacks to real world of what the characters were in their past world, or we see scientists frantically scrambling trying to figure out what went wrong, or the main character hooked up to like hospital machinery with the headset still on, or right? You know what I'm talking about. Not in this case. We just see what the characters see. We don't ever stray beyond the limits of their cognition. That's cool. Because on one hand, it really immerses us in this world of the game, while on the other hand, it still tells us, hey, it's just a game, you know, wink wink. Don't get too immersed in it, but at the same time get immersed into this game world. Not into this fantasy world, into this game world. And I started talking in circles because I already talked about that. So to sum things up, really good show. I'm gonna be waiting for a sequel for sure, and I'm gonna be watching it because I really need to know how they're gonna get out of this pickle with a second phase. I really need to see Nikola's character growth arc, because that's something that's hopefully gonna happen. I really want to see what's gonna happen to Ren and Alba and all of those things. And I, most of all, really need an answer to what the fuck went wrong with this game. Why are they stuck here? That's the biggest mystery, and we don't have even a glimpse, even a shred of a hint as to why that might be. Nothing. Zero clue. I like it. This is one of the things where I like not knowing. How do I say it? I said it multiple times. I like not knowing things when me not knowing them makes sense in the context of the world, right? The characters in the show are the proxy for the viewer. We experience what they experience, basically. So if the characters see something, then I see something and know that thing. If the characters don't know something, I, the viewer, don't know that thing either. That's the good kind of not knowing, right? Like, Haga has no clue, or any person here has no clue why they're stuck. I have no clue why they're stuck, and it makes sense. I like not knowing that because it's a nice mystery. I don't like the kind of not knowing where they like hide the character's face halfway off the screen, turn off the sound, and it's just silence, or the tinnitus screaming sound in the background, and oh, they know that thing. They talked about it extensively, but you, the viewer, oh no, you can't hear that. I don't like that. And this show doesn't have it. What the characters know, I know. What the characters don't know, I don't know. Good. That's how we build a mystery. Anything else? Ha ha ha. No, I think that's it. Yeah, it's not going to be as long of an episode as I thought it's going to be. Probably because of the poker arc, where I wasn't able to comment that much because I don't know poker. But yeah, good episode, good show. I'm going to be there for season 2, and I hope you're going to be there as well, and you're going to watch it alongside me. Or watch it before me, and then rewatch it with me. That's also fun. That's how I like to watch my anime. But yeah, I think that right now that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, this show, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. If so, say so in the comments down below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord if you like. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, whatever they might be. Shangri-La Frontier for sure, season 2. Whatever else, I don't know. You're gonna see that on my seasonal live stream, probably. That's gonna be up in a couple of days at least. And you can click the bell to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows, and for just $1 you get a role on Discord and a place in the credits. Or you can support me directly on YouTube. Memberships, super thanks, super chats. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Zerene, Sam Greenwood, UK Ally, Dr. Watt, Akamatsu, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to play poker.